Okay.
Okay.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the who, what, and why of the Allied Council. It's our effort to communicate and keep you informed of what's going on in various areas of our home. Ed, what's the newest?
She's putting me on the spot as usual, and of course we have this well planned. We've got a few scribbled notes here that we can figure out something. One of the main things right now is that the elections at the individual sections is happening on the 26th. So be sure everybody get out and vote, even though in some cases there may be only the recumbent that's running. But get out and vote, and it definitely shows your support for that person that's running and being a delegate. So please vote. That would be very nice. And there are many other things we'll cover as we go along, and one of them is the Member Services Building Center, Member Services Center, as you know, has closed down at 4 o'clock. Well, this is obviously not too well, and we've been trying to get it open later as we've worked on it in a long time. What has happened, of course, you may know, is that the amount of member helpers we have to staff this has been not enough to make it work. So we finally adjusted some things, moved some people around, and as February 1st, it will be open till 8 o'clock in the evening. So that's good news.
This means that the gym will be open, the library will be open, and the game room will be open. So come on and enjoy your member services building longer hours. And before very long, we're going to be able to sit out on the patio and watch the sunset on that balcony off of the cafe.
It's going to be great.
Got any comments?
I was just going to say on the election, if you're not around on the 26th, you can still pick up an absentee ballot and vote with that.
Absolutely.
What else, Ed?
Well, let me grab onto this mic and talk a little bit. By the way, we're working on getting some lapel mics. These are mics that just they're small, they fit on your lapel, and you don't even know there's a mic, and it'll look a little more professional and be a lot easier. So we are working on that, believe it or not. I just turned in a big request list for KVET so that we get more equipment, we can do more things. So we're working on this, and it will definitely keep improving as it has. So I hope you all will support it. And if you're interested in working in a studio, we don't have a lot of member helper money to put you to work that way. But please, if you're interested at all, and I've said this before, come into the studio, talk to the people that are here, talk to Steve and Bert and Bob, and say, hey, I'd like to find out what's going on here. I'd like to spend some time. I'd like to work here. I'll volunteer some time. Come on in. It's really a neat place. It's a fun place to work, and it's a fun thing to be involved with. So please come in and see what is going on. Another item, you want to talk about the fire marshal and what's going on with the fire marshal?
I'll talk about the fire marshal. As some of you have already found out, the fire marshal is checking each room. With the refrigerators must be plugged into the wall outlet, not a strip or extension cord. Coffee pots, all of that must be plugged into the wall, not a strip. If you are caught doing something you shouldn't be, he's going to take it right out. So he will be around. I know he's coming into H this next week. I think he's already been to some of the buildings.
That's right.
So be sure and check what you're doing in your room on that.
Okay. I'd just like to add that there's some confusion sometimes. What's the difference between a power strip and an extension cord? Well, the main difference is that, number one, is it's a heavier duty cable. It'll take much higher amperage. And it generally has anywhere from 5 to 10 outlets. Mm-hmm. And it's usually fused and doesn't usually have a real long extension on it, but maybe up to 6 feet. You can plug this into your wall outlet and then plug your small appliances. I mean, like your computer and your light and your clock. You can plug all those things in there, and it works perfectly well, and it's safe. But do not plug your refrigerator in there. You want to plug the refrigerator directly into the wall outlet. So I hope that clears up a little bit. Thank you. And Lois, you want to talk a little bit about a few other things, like maybe fees and charges, what we're doing?
Okay, on the fees and charges, when we had our Allied Council meeting last Wednesday, Marcella stressed that there are quite a number of residents that have not been paying their monthly fee. She said even up to maybe 10, 11 months. Mm-hmm. It is critical that those that are unable to meet their monthly fee go see Marcella, and there is a payment plan. But I understand that if you do not pay, there is a possibility that you would be asked to leave the home. Another thing that is very critical is that you return the survey to the finance department. That's another thing she said. If you do not return that, you're going to be charged the maximum fee monthly. So that's another critical thing. Take it to the finance department, meet with them. You're supposed to take your W-2 forms and all that kind of thing, so they can calculate your monthly fee.
Right. And this is only done once a year, so it's not that big of an effort. So please bring in your information, check it out, because if you could go from paying $500 a month to paying $3,000 a month, so that's you don't want to do that. So I would recommend get in there, because they are going to start cracking down on some of these things. They've been very lax on that and being very supportive of us, but you know, it's gone beyond reason here. So do the right thing, please. Wally, you had something else?
I'm going to say on the lighter side of things, let me make another appeal for bingo Saturday. We're having some success there, but remember we've moved to the new room down at the south end of the Member Services building. It starts around 5 o'clock, and we very much need your support. Remember, AMVETs who run that program give many dollars to the home for a variety of programs. In fact, the last few years, they've given about $100,000 each year. So again, please.
What day do they play bingo?
They play it on Saturday, starts around 5 o'clock. So we expect to see all bingo players there, or some of you who have not tried it yet, please come out. I think you'll find it fun, and you make friends there, and it's really enjoyable to do. Let me turn it back to Lois.
There is a small fee. I believe it's $5, sometimes $10 for a number of cards you buy, but you win money. I've heard of people winning up to $100, $150. So it's worth coming and having fun, supporting the AMVET program, the donations to us. See you at bingo on Saturday at 5 p.m. That's in what we thought would be the cafe in the new building, but we're going to call it the social center now. And there's a possibility in the future that becoming where we could have a dining around, maybe a dinner at night, and then go over and dance in Grant Hall. Can you go dance with me, Ed?
Absolutely.
And you know, have all kinds of social things. Maybe after dinner at night. Some of the fellows are always wishing there was a place to continue the conversation. That's right. And that's also being thought of, where you could go over and make it a social center.
Yeah. Marcella is doing a really good job of trying to push this into being something even better than what it was in the past. So we're looking forward to that change. And I would say about bingo, my opinion, in 5 years that I've been here, I hadn't played bingo once, and then I got involved with this, and I went there a couple of times, and by golly, you know, it was a lot of fun. You go there with somebody particularly, and you can make an evening of it. It is just really entertaining. We're getting a new bingo machine shortly, one of the best kind that has the little balls throwing up in the air, and they pick them out and they plug them in, and it's a lot of fun. And we're trying to do more things to make it more interesting, so give it a try. It's a lot of fun. And now on a more
favorite topic.
My favorite, fun. Yes, fun is a favorite topic. Now I have a little bit of not so much fun thing, and that's talking about smoking. There is a smoking committee, and they do meet basically once a month now. It used to be once a year. We are trying to make some changes to make it better for everybody, and not only the non-smokers, but the smokers. And one of the things that I think will happen very shortly is that there will be certain these designated areas where you can smoke, period. I think that's going to be well perceived. I think it will work out well. You'll know exactly where you can smoke and where you can't. And I think it's going to be the next phase, possibly after that, that the staff will not be allowed to smoke outside the building at all. So I'm not sure exactly where that's going, but it'll be a step in the right direction. And I would say one of the biggest problems we have, in my opinion, it's not the smoke getting in my eyes, but it's the clutter. I mean, you can't walk any place on the campus without seeing cigarette butts. Now, come on, you guys, pick up your butts. I mean, you know, if you have trouble with your butt, somebody will help you. you gotta start cleaning up the campus. And I've thought about maybe we get a bunch of people going around and collect these things, put them in a clear container, and see how many bushels of cigarette butts we could find.
Get a prize for collecting.
Anyway, so much for that sad story.
One thing to that came out at the LA Council meeting last week, the question was asked, what are they doing to help people quit smoking? Because it is an addiction, and Marcella stated that there is help, that they have a program over in Section A that will give you the medications that you need and help you lose that habit. I think we've all at one time or another had that habit, and it can be, if anybody could give it up, absolutely. I did, and I'm very glad I did, particularly when I see how much they are.
I'd like to mention another thing. We had the pleasure of having our the Deputy Secretary of the Homes, that's Stan Opigard, who works under the Secretary of the CDVA in Sacramento. And he visited us here with a part of a legal staff and a few other people from accounting. We spent a couple of hours with him, various people talking with him and going over some of the situation. They are working really hard at trying to look at our concerns, what's going on, how do we communicate. I really do believe it's going to get better. So keep patience and realize that the CDVA is really there to support us, and we need to give them help. They need to help us, but the more we help them, the more they're going to give us help. So keep that in mind, and it is getting better. And I think we're getting close to the end, but Wally, you have a...
Just a final thought regarding CalVet too. The board, which oversees the CDVA, is going to be meeting here in April. Our plans at this point would be to have some sort of a open house so that any member can state his concerns and kind of discuss what we then will discuss with the board.
A town hall type?
A town hall type meeting. So I do want to emphasize that, even though it's not coming up for a couple of months, but it will be a chance for anyone in our audience, residents here, to talk directly to the board members. And I think, on that note,
I think that about covers all that we have for this week. If you have any questions, come by the Allied Council office. We're in room 209 in that Member Services Center. If you can't come in to see us, give us a call. Our telephone number at the office is 944-4933. Again, that's 944-4933. We'll answer your questions and do anything to help you that we possibly can. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you, Wally, for being with us today, and here you are, boss.
I guess I get the last word, and I usually get the first and the last. So anyway, have a great day, and it's always fun doing these things for you, and we'd like to get more people involved. If you've got any questions on what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it, come and get involved. We'd love to have you on our program. So love to see you, and hope you love to see us. So have a great day. Adios.